Okay, team. Today we will discuss about IPsec. Finally, have a time to basically uh, set it up for the IPsec, and we have in this topology we have two FortiGates. We'll configure IPsec. There's two mode normally transport and tunnel mode. The differences are explained here where the transport mode encryption is optional. To encrypt is optional. The authentication IP data. It's going to be a good ESP host to host traffic. I can do this traffic analyze, but effective. The other mode is tunnel mode, encrypted entire packets, and actually added an additional header to the next hop. No routers on ways to examine inner headers. So this basically is the good for gateway to gateway security. Um, so that's the IPsec to tunnel mode, to type of mode, tunnel, and that. For us, we'll set these up. So we basically have a traffic goes inside here. So it goes inside here, tunnel mode, and then communicate to the two LAN, two sites securely without going to the WAN. So this is the WAN. So instead of traffic going to the WAN, right? So instead of traffic going to the WAN, we'll make traffic goes to tunnel mode. So which is basically GRE tunnel, and the tunnel is IPsec, it's encrypted, right? The tunnel is encrypted. So every bit of traffic will securely go within inside a tunnel. So there's a lot of security. So public WAN, this section is cloud, which is the WAN. So traffic here is basically unsecure. What's going to happen is the man in the middle can basically grab your data, store your information. The intruders can see what's going on with the public WAN, which is basically underlay. So what's gonna happen is basically if traffic goes to that way, it can be detected, it can be manipulated, and what's gonna happen is intruders are collecting information from the site A into site B. So the best is to have tunnel and overlay tunnel where the underlay goes here, the overlay on top. So you will go to that route. Traffic generates on top. No one can see your information safely, securely. Yeah. So in this case, we'll set it up to FortiGates, and we have a one LAN, one BC. All right, let's get started. We'll set it up a site. let's just name this. We'll say site A. And the other one we'll call site B. Site B. Yeah. Right. Alright, so the FortiGate version I have here is version 7. Yeah, so this is version 7. We'll configure. Management. Login. For now, the default is admin. No password. We can just create one now. First thing first, let's check if there is a dynamically the port 1 gets IP address by DHCP, and we can see that it's .7. And see if I can communicate. I can reach out to .7. If in case that the communication not going through, what else you look is to see if HTTP allowed. Basically hit enter and then look port 1. It looks like everything is allowed. So the port 1 has a communication, the mode is DHCP. The access is allowed. Some reason it's not going through. Manual set this up to force. First, let's refresh one more time. Not coming. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna set it up on configuration. So port 1. So you set up. So we'll see. We'll say set mode static. So we change static. We unset whatever we had previously. Now we set a new fresh IP. For me, I'm going to use 8. It's going to be class C. Set allowed. HTTP, SSH, being allowed. What else? FTM. Yeah, so it should looks good. And show system interface. Always set this statically in port 8. Don't understand why it goes. Okay. Sounds like promising, yeah. Okay, so we'll log in with the default password. Welcome one I just created. We'll make sure that the LAN is connected 40. We have 172 on WAN. So let's fix the interface. First thing first, if you look, this is version 7. So don't show me that. Okay. So make sure this is the mode is NAT mode. So it's a NAT System info, if you look here, is you always look the type of mode we have is natted. We got version 7. The other thing that you look normally is time, very critical, NTP, time synchronization. You need to go setting a system under system, go setting, and put your time essential for me. The other thing you look at what type of mode next generation firewall is right now. If you look here, next generation firewall, the mode is profile based. For me, I'm going to switch policy based, right? So for me, I'm going to use policy based. You go down to the networking and the interface and configure the net, those two ports. Port 3, port 2, port 2 is it's WAN, port 1 is the management. So you need a little bit defined to define some of the ports. So make clear when you're doing a configuration to determine what port you're doing. So put the allies, and this is management. I'm not going to define anything else. Just type the name here on top. That's enough. You should be able to later see this is management. Everything else here looks good. Don't take anything. Don't uncheck here. Leave it default. No need a DHC server, DHCP server here. This looks good. The port is up and running. Port 2 is the WAN. This one you define WAN, and the role must be a WAN. IP is class P. /26. It's manual configurations looks like that. We allowed SSH. Pinks allowed connectivity. I will just say a couple more like that. I make sure that is on. You can put that a bandwidth. The bandwidth you can go to whatever, however you like. 20,000 or more. You can define or you can leave it. Okay, port 3, that's the LAN. The LAN should be 40. 1 class 8. Manual configure. There's something called auto management by IBM. If you want to do that, that's another thing. If you have an IBM, so it looks good. IBAM means define it, subnets. Okay, for this one, SSH ping allow. I will say just SSH and ping. The LAN, how do they get the IP address? We allow the DHCP to determine that the dynamic IP address allocated to those who wants to use, like the BC.setting. So BC is setting here facing downward. So downstream is where you want to have the DHCP. So we get the IP address dynamically assigned to this. That sure looks good. The port is on, enable means on. That is how we define the LAN. Alright, I changed the mode to next generation firewall policy base. One thing I want to do is I want to make sure restart the machine, the node. So that will be a good idea. Just reboot. Alright, meanwhile, we're going to go to the next one. This one is the similar. Make sure they're matching, same version 7. Exactly do the same. Let me see here, the management.8. So I'm gonna put this .8. Just say no. Yeah. Alright, for this one, we do the similar case. We'll statically configure management. Fresh one, we'll log in with admin, no password, create one. Alright, to look the port should be DHCP port 1, still looking, anything coming. For me, I'm not gonna wait, I just wanna put that manual configuration for now. So, similar case, interface. We're adding the port 1 as well, the one that we are editing. Port 1. So it's a DHCP. I will switch that to mode of static and now unset whatever we have. So set this IP to a unique one. .9 is fine. I'm afraid .7 some nodes that has been taken. Some other nodes. I'm not comfortable with that one because that IP address has been allocated. Okay, so looks good. I'm seeing that the network connectivity on port 1 static, it's been coming up and running. And alright, the other thing I'm doing is, let me see if I can pick the gateway. I'm sorry, the command should looks execute. That's the script. Okay, looks good. I am getting, there is a reachability for that one. Alright, so the CLI will get out. We'll go to management, GUI to manage this box. .9, it was a .9 and .8. Yeah, that's .9. I think I might want to say missing configuration like allow the access. So I come back, system interface, let's add the port and allow HTTP, HTTPS, SSH, ping. Yeah, that's what I think is missing. Alright, back to configuration again. We'll figure out. Okay, there you go. Okay. Uh, so we have a management access. Okay. All right, same version. Okay, so just the way we did the other one, check the mode. Mode is NAT. Version is 7. Um, fix the, always don't forget, fix the timing, the NTB. Go to System, under Settings, change to your time zone. Go down, look the next generation firewall in the mode is policy. Apply that back to the networking interface and configure the 20 and dot and 17.9. So just fix the port one. Like I say, it's management port. This one you just define. Everything looks good. And you go to port 2, that's WAN. You look topology, that's WAN port 2. Okay, we're going to define this WAN. It also should be a WAN. IP is .2/16. Statically, and make sure that everything's checked. It's good. Okay. I will configure port 3, that's LAN. This is 20. I define this as a LAN. 20.1/8. Manual configuration, SSH, ping allowed. Alright, looks good. So now that we have connection between two devices, you can just make sure to ping the other end. So what we'll try to see if we can have a reachability on the other side. Okay, so just to let you know, this is policy based. It's not going to allow you unless you give action. And what we do, and we go to policy and object. Alright, central SNAT, nothing there. So the communication is not going to go through. If you go to security policy, we don't have nothing at all. Security policy, we're going to start saying that what's the type of communication we're doing here, right? So first thing we do is we'll make sure the LAN communicates to the WAN. So this is the define I'm doing. So incoming traffic from the LAN and outgoing to the WAN. And the communication should be everything. The destination everywhere. Service undefined, everything should be a default. So that's one policy that's going outside the interface. Yeah. Alright, and then what's gonna happen is we need some sort of statically define. So static route is what we do. Static route, make sure the gateway is 172.16.0.1 and interface is the WAN. That's how we define statically. Alright, the other end it's gonna be similar case. Define outgoing interface and static. Okay. Alright, let's just say this one. Let's just start with the static, huh? I know we have a 3. Okay, so it looks dashboard out. Go to the network. Go to static route. So static we assigned to 172.16.0.2, and then the WAN. Should looks good. Not sure the ping will come at this time. No define, so it's not going ping. So we'll go to policy. Remember, this is policy based. Central. So let's go. All right. So one policy is go to central. Create one. Yeah, incoming traffic. It's let me define the LAN. Some reason I don't see. Don't know what happened. So LAN should be LAN. Okay, back to the policy. Central NAT, Central SNAT. So incoming traffic is the LAN. Outgoing should be WAN. Source anywhere, destination anywhere. Okay. Alright, so still communication is not. Alright, so the communication go from LAN to WAN. And security LAN to WAN. From LAN to WAN. Alright, secure case. incoming WAN and security source anywhere, destination anywhere. So I have communication that way. Alright, so LAN can go outside. And the other one, similar case, the LAN can go outside. This one, check the security policy. Alright, so similar case, everything should looks good. Alright, so what we do is we turn the connectivity. I want to make sure the two devices ping each other, and the traffic should ping right now from here to here. Should be a lot of ping happening, and then we can ping all the way down here. And similar case, we will bring this all the way down here. So then when we get the underlay, or say what they call a WAN communication, then we'll set up the IPsec tunnel. Alright, so now I'm just configuring a basic communication, and then the second step is to define the IPsec. Alright, everything looks good. So the communication between two devices must be reachable. Alright, looks good. The other side, and I'm checking this side too. Okay, looks good. Alright, reachability to two devices are up and running. I just confirm. Alright, it's time to turn on the two LAN, side A, side B, and let's find out how far we can go. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on this PC. In my understanding, the PC, this machine can go and reach out all the way here to here, and reachability should be fine. In similar cases, this one can go up here and communicate um, with the firewall. And now what's gonna end up is that I don't want to use the WAN to communicate each other. What I rather prefer is to build a IPsec tunnel, and we'll use the tunnel to communicate each other. So the communication should be inside the tunnel, right? This is the definition, and I want to define a topology, GRE tunnel, and encrypt it. So the communication should looks like this way, right? Just to make sure, guys, you understand. I don't want to use the underlay. So this is the underlay, and this is the overlay. Um, that's the idea of IPsec. That's how we survive and safely co communicate those two sites, site one and site two, with no issue. Um, let's get started. Let's find out how far we can go and check the user one. Okay, the first thing that can happen here is if a user one on site two, it's that there is a DHCP server from the FortiGate firewall, and then the IP should be allocated whatever happening is. So basically, it should be 20 subnet.2 is what we need to give the PC. So downstream DHCP server is on. I can verify that by going to the GUI management. We go into network under interface, port 3. If we look down the DHCP, wait a second, it's not on, so we can turn that on and start. So we don't have anything right now. We say ipconfig. Boom, we got .2. So if you look here, we get the .2 allocated by DHCP server, and we'll see how you will view the DHCP server. If you go to dashboard, status, I mean. In here, you can add the widget DHCP server and looks and find out who get any. Yeah, so we'll expand and wait the result. Yeah, a couple of seconds, we should have information regarding who get the IP address. So we give some time. If we look the log event, we can also look around. Don't have anything here. Routes. Yeah, basically give some time to see what's going on the log and all kind of stuff. I go back, waiting to get the information. Yeah, so we're gonna get the result of who gets the IP and MAC address. Alright, do the same to the other one. Alright, so fine, let's find out the site can go where. See if we can ping. Ping 172.16.2. What that means the PC can reach out based on our policy. PC can reach out all the way down here. But let me also see if we can reach out all the way here. Go back, .1. Yes, we can. So while we're using the underlay, the WAN connection, we can reach all the way down here. But the question is, can we reach .40? See all the way down to the 41. Let's ping timeout. There's some policy that allows, right? It's cutting in and out. Alright, so back to this. Remember guys, this is policy based, so it's we go to object, and to WAN, or you go to security, let's go to site A, verify the DHCP is running or not. Go to interface, port 3, DHCP service. It's turned on. We can see then let's add the widget. Yeah, this is very quick. Yep, get the allocation by 40.2. Let's turn on. Config, test. Looks good. Application going on. Alright, I can go out. LAN to WAN. And there's essential SNAT. And they have essential SNAT. Both have essential SNAT. We could just remove this and show you what's gonna happen. So if there's no essential SNAT, what's the issue? We take that out and now try access. You can access and no reach ability again, just to make sure. Try to reach out to the other PC. All the way down. Okay, security. If we take the security down, just make sure that you guys understand where I'm coming from. And because this is policy based, I'm going to delete the policy, security policy. And the other one, let's try now. Okay. Okay, so what it's telling us is there's no communication. I shut down both devices, and just to make sure that communication is clear, the no reachability for this. Okay, you go. .2.2. .1. Okay, so all right, so I'm troubleshooting something going on the management side. Just want to fix that quick, so you can see Ping still happening. And port 2. I just want to allow only the ping. Nothing else. Similar case. Port 3 ping allowed. Only the access. SSH not needed. Okay, looks good. Alright, so the communication happening over the WAN, so that makes sure that I can communicate all the way here to here. I'm using IPsec, so I'm going to start building IPsec right now. Um, everything looks good. Not translation, static route. This is how the communication making. Take the static route down. So so right now, if you look, PCA and BC, site A and site B, no communication at all. I can communicate my local. Each one can talk to their local. So what's happening right now is each of individuals can reach out all the way here, but they cannot communicate themselves. This is where we need the IPsec tunnel. Again, I just want to make sure I kill this static routing. I will define the IPsec and go from here. Alright, the first thing first, we'll go to Site A, VPN, IPsec tunnel, create new fresh one. Okay, this is fresh one. Like I say, everything else is empty. The only thing is configured right now is the network. So there's no policy, security policy, no central SNAT, no static, nothing. Alright, so we'll start with VPN IPsec tunnel. We create the tunnel. This one we call site B. So this is site B. The version is IPv4 static. The remote is 172.16.0.2. Remote again is 172.16.0.2. How do I get that? I mean, I am here and my remote peer is this guy. Gotta tell him this is my remote peer. And this is a site 2, right? So site P, right? And the interface is that's connected is WAN. So that's the WAN. Alright, not trust, but we're gonna be let this be enable everything, leave it default. You will expand and in this thing nothing you're gonna configure. You just basically have the name, select your static IP, name, interface. That's it. This is the section of the network. The network portion of this section, that's all you need to have. IPv4, static, the gateway, remote gateway, the other end, the interface that you're reaching into. That's all. And the second portion is the authentication method. What type of method that you want to use. We were looking for the pre-share key. You input pre-share key. The version internet key exchange is going to be version 1. Let the mode be a main. That's the authentication also. So we'll just put the pre-share key. Leave everything else is okay. Now we're talking to phase 2. Sorry, phase 1. Phase 1 is this is what we have. Now we don't need all this. We just want to have 2 of them. Everything else we're going to delete. We keep group element, DV element group 5. The lifetime leave it default. So what that means you will close everything out. It's going to have only 2 encryption method, DES and SHA-1. And it will leave it group 5. Alright, now we're coming to the phase 2. We want to put the information on phase 2. Let's say this is phase 2. Just name it phase 2, that's fine. We could just have phase 2 and we'll tell the subnet. So this is the idea where you want to know what's the local IP and remote. If you back to the topology, this is your local or the LAN will say. So this is the IP address for the local and this is the remote IP address. I hope that's clear for you. And however you want it, you can do the subnetting or you can use the range. This is class 8, remote is 20, and it is class 8. That's what you need. If you expand, make sure that we have version 5 and leave everything else default. That's it. Tunnel's down right now. The reason is the other end is down. We need a policy now. What we need is static route. So what we did, let me show you what we did. Number 1, we select the network, right? So we define the network. The second thing we define is Authentication Method, where we setting up what type of authentication method, pre-share key, and so on. Number 3, we select the phase 1. What that means? We select phase 1, communication. Here's what we define. Normally phase 1 is opening the tunnel. The second thing is phase 2 is remote and local communication. So 2 encryption, encryption 1, encryption 2. So phase 1 is the group and so on. Phase 4, so the fourth is the last one, which is phase 2. Phase 2 is the remote, local LAN and remote. Okay, which right here. So this section. Right. So the thing is, number 1 is the network. Where are you? Who you want to communicate? What type of method you want to exchange? Password. Okay. Then phase 2, what algorithm you want to use between those two. Then phase 1 I mean. Then phase 2, locally what algorithm that you want to also communicate. So the algorithm or the encryption are that's phase 2, phase 1 and phase 2. This is the authentication method, password, and then networking, the 2 nodes. Those are the 4 steps. Right now we need to basically set up static route. So we make sure that we have static route, static with each other to get the information going. Lastly, we need to create a policy and firewall policy who can get in from the WAN. So statically, when we say the route should be static routes. Okay, so let's go to network and show you how you do that. So go to the network, create a static. You don't have to get the gateway, just add the interface. Remember, we're gonna add the site, VPN site. That's all you need. That's statically VPN, and that's what we need to have communication started out for the IPsec. And now if you go to policy, create security policy for this one, create one, and we'll say, so who's coming? IPsec is coming and to the LAN. Okay, so it's going to the LAN. So what's the incoming traffic? The IPsec traffic coming in. It's going to the WAN. Communication is all. Destination is all. That's it. Now that's incoming traffic. let's generate outgoing traffic as well. Outgoing traffic this time is the LAN going back to the IPsec. Okay. So this time back to the IPsec interface. So interface coming is the LAN again. And go into back to the IPsec tunnel. And this is gonna be all information. Resources, all destinations, all. There's no specific. So this is a security policy that incoming traffic, outgoing traffic. And the tunnel has to be IPsec. So we're talking about the tunnel going here to communicate to the other LAN. This is basically what it is. Okay. We're gonna do the same thing the other firewall. Alright, so we'll build the IPs, make sure everything else is clear. The only thing this one is configure the interface. Nothing else, no static, no policy, clear, and no central SNAT. Alright, let's start with the VPN IPsec. Create new tunnel. We're gonna call site A. We're reaching out site A. Okay. And the IP on the site A is 172.16.0.1. That interface is the WAN. So that's the networking portion. We have IPv4. Everything should looks good. Authentication pre-shared key. We're using the key. Same key. On the other side. One. So we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Version is version 1. The mode is main. Phase 1. Phase 1 will use send method encryption and dash shot 1. Davy element groups 5. Keep alive same time. Keep alive second should be the default. Phase 2. Create the name of phase 2 here. And then the local subnet on this LAN is 20. And the remote 40. Alright, and I hit the advanced button and then kill all this and make sure you only have a 2 desk and Test and shout, that's it. There we have a group. We'll leave it 5 only. Everything should looks good. Alright, tunnels down. One thing we need is static route to reach out the other aisle. Create a new one. Leave the gateway and select the tunnel. Site A. And save. As soon as I done that, the tunnel is up. And now we are looking for policy. Gonna create security policy for this to communicate the other FortiGate. The security policy for the FortiGate is incoming traffic IPsec to the LAN. So communication from LAN, from IPsec to the LAN, all sources, all destination. Okay, and there is a one outgoing. This is gonna be from LAN to the IPsec. LAN, IPsec. Okay. Alright, so if you look right now, communicate from for two side. Okay, so side 1, side 2, the IPsec tunnel is up. We can reach out to each other. Yeah, so we can reach out each other for this IB config. This is 40. Alright, so let me change the color to something. Let's see. Config 20. So if I want to reach out to from 20 to 40 on the LAN side, I can do that. And if I want to reach out to the LAN on the other end, I can reach out. The reason I'm doing that, the IPsec tunnel is up. I can show you tunnel is up now. And if we want to go to dashboard, we want to go to event, VPN, you can see it's negotiation phase 2. Everything should looks good. Dashboard, we can add the widget, VPN. Okay, so today's it's gonna be coming soon. So that should be it for the site VPN security. Um, phase 1, phase 2, the process from the negotiating. Yeah. So like I said, this right now the traffic going through the tunnel. Traffic is going through the tunnel from here to here. So no traffic going that into the WAN. I can also assure you I will remote in the other machine, RDP in. Let me, dot 20 is what I want to remote in. If you want to remote in 20, site B machine, you can remote in. Okay, here you go. I want to finalize. There you go. So if you in case want to wonder, yeah, sorry about that. Text about the other machines die and just I can remote in the other one remotely. Just want to prove you the remote is a VPN. It is working. Thanks everyone. I will see you next chapter and take care. Any comment, question, just let me know. Bye now.